I am part of this research team at NIMH that asks, can we save lives by screening for suicide risk in the medical setting? So this is one way that we can help healthcare providers start that very awkward but critical conversation of, are you thinking of killing yourself? And we think universal screening is the way to do it. Now, why did we pick the medical setting for suicide prevention? Well, if you look at death registry studies, so these are studies of people who died by suicide, what you find is both adults and kids who died by suicide have visited a healthcare provider not only months, but sometimes within a week of dying, right? But the problem is they don't show up in your clinics and your ER and your inpatient units saying, I'm thinking of killing myself. So if someone doesn't ask them directly, are you thinking of killing yourself? They most likely won't talk about it. So the majority of suicide attempters go unrecognized because the majority of settings don't screen. They don't ask those important questions about suicide risk. And so we're going to focus on that today. Now, suicide in the hospital setting, very tragic event, right? But it happens more than you think. And in fact, it happened at the hospital at NIH about 20 years ago. I'm sorry. Yeah, 20 years ago. And it's ranked, it has always been ranked as one of the top 5 most frequently reported sentinel events in a hospital. And so if I say that to you, I bet most people think, well, that's happening on the behavioral health units, but that's not true. A quarter of these suicides occurred in non-behavioral health units, right? So these are places like the ER, like the outpatient clinics, the inpatient med-surg units, the cancer units, the ICU. These are where some of these suicides are happening. And so in 2016, and some of you might remember this, the Joint Commission came up with the sentinel event alert. Sentinel event is when a patient dies unexpectedly, right? So because suicide was in the top 5, they said, hey, we should do universal screening. That was the best thing to happen to suicide prevention in a hospital setting. And here you see over time, and I just wanted to show you that suicide has been in the top 5. And you can see the most frequent sentinel event reported are fatal falls. Now, we all know hospitals have routinized way to screen for fall risk, but they don't have routinized way to screen for suicide risk. And I just show you that maybe because of all these efforts in healthcare settings, in 2023, suicide actually dropped to number 6 for frequently reported sentinel events. I mean, I say that optimistically. It could be because some of these other things rose, but suicide is still in the top 6. Okay, so if I asked you, and I'm gonna, since I'm not there in person, I'm just gonna ask you to think about it. What do you think the most common reason is that people don't talk about suicide? Why is it such a scary thing to talk about? I mean, other than that, it's a scary topic. Why don't people ask people, are you thinking of killing yourself? So think about what the most common concern is. There's lots of reasons. The most common concern is that, what if I ask someone about suicide and it puts the idea in their head? Like, let's say they're sad and depressed and they weren't thinking about it. And now I ask them, is that going to make them think about it? So I'm going to tell you that this is the most common myth of suicide. And I'm saying it's a myth because there's at least 4 research studies now that show not only is it not harmful to ask someone about suicide, but that's how you can save their life. It's helpful. It's a way to start this very awkward but critical conversation with a patient or a family member or a friend. And this is how you can save someone's life, by asking the question and then bracing for any answer that's not no, right? And it doesn't mean you have to fix it, but you can be the bridge into getting someone help. Okay. So now I want to just show you a video I show this video to everyone. It is kids talking about teen suicide prevention, but you can insert adults in there too. I really show it to everybody because they're talking about kids, but it pertains to adults who are thinking about suicide too. So please tell me if you can't hear this. Oops.
I have my ups and downs, just like anybody else.
Maybe more than anybody else.
I can be hard to figure out.
And I like my privacy.
I don't want you looking over my shoulder all the time.
But you know your kid better than anybody else. And if you think he's acting different than usual,
Acting really down, crying all the time for no good reason.
Or getting really mad.
Not able to sleep, or sleeping too much.
Shutting her friends out or giving her stuff away.
Acting reckless. Drinking, using drugs. Staying out late.
Suddenly not doing stuff he used to love.
or doing stuff that's just not like him.
It might be nothing to worry about. It might just be high school.
Or it might be something more. He might be depressed.
Not just feeling down, really depressed.
It might be that your kid is thinking about killing himself.
It happens. More than you think. More than it should.
And people say, I had no idea.
I thought it was just a phase he was going through.
I never thought she'd do it.
I wish he'd come to me.
I wish he'd said
I
something.
wish I'd said something.
When it's too late. So if you think your kid's acting different, if she seems like a different person, say something.
Say, what's wrong? How can I help?
And ask straight out. Are you thinking about killing yourself?
It doesn't hurt to ask. In fact, it helps.
When people are thinking about killing themselves, they want somebody to ask.
They want somebody to care.
Maybe you're afraid you'll make it worse if you ask. Like, you'll put the idea in their head.
Believe me, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't hurt to ask.
In fact, the best way to keep a teenager from killing herself is to ask, are you thinking about killing yourself?
And what if they say yes?
Or maybe.
Or sometimes,
Well, here's what you don't say.
That's crazy.
Don't be such a drama
you're
queen.
making too much of this.
That boy's not worth killing
Yourself.
over.
That's not going to solve anything.
You're just trying to get attention.
You're not going to kill yourself.
What you do say is,
I'm sorry you're feeling so bad.
How can I help?
We'll get through this together.
Let's keep you safe.
A lot of people think about killing themselves, adults and kids.
most of them never try it, but some of them do. So if your kid says,
I'd be better off dead.
I can't live with
I'm
this.
gonna kill myself,
Take her seriously. Find someone she can talk to about it. Someone who knows how to help.
Sometimes kids want to kill themselves because something happened. A breakup, a failure.
But sometimes it goes deeper, and it's not going to go away by itself.
Get some help. Talk to your doctor.
Or a counselor at school.
Or your minister.
but don't just let it drop.
And make sure that your kid always has someone to turn to. Someone he trusts.
Make a list together, right then. 3, 4, 5 names.
Put a suicide hotline number on there too.
Have him keep that list in his wallet, so he always knows where to turn.
Make sure your home is safe.
If you have pills she could use to hurt herself, lock them up.
If you have a gun, don't just lock it up. Get it out of the house. The bullets, too.
And one more thing. If you think your kid might be about to hurt himself, don't leave him alone.
Take him to the emergency room.
Call 911 if you have to.
We all have our ups and downs, but sometimes it's more than that.
If you think something's wrong, the only way to find out is to ask.
Ask straight out. Are you thinking about killing yourself?
Don't wait until you're sure. Trust your gut.
Because it never hurts to ask.
And it can make a big difference.
All the difference.
In your kid's life.
Okay, so it is just a very powerful public service announcement. You can find it, the Mayo Clinic puts it out there for free. They allow us to use it in our presentation. I've probably seen it hundreds of times, and every time I think it's a powerful thing. It's a good thing to show to parents. Okay, and also it's older now, right? So there's 988 now, which I hope you all know about, which is now connects you to the suicide lifeline and the crisis text line.